What this game has done these past 13 years is some mind-numbing confirmation of the long-achieved misanthrope experience, where the hell of other people only was brought and magnified by clearly my forced attempted assimilation among insist upon being as that TV, religio, and and I've lived that scientized magic and witchcraft as to broadcast the many-mind, conforming idiocracy methods and the many-money worshipping and dull comprehension of thought, eight skillfully devised by the intelligence folk as satanic, intentionally ever lowlifes who continue to this day exist everywhere, but cannot be located at no fusion center NSA BSD or computer accessors, and when the Kabbalah is better understood now. The dumbing down places yet still atheistic, tile bold enough to dismiss the presence of non-physical personality, which as described as remotely observing all which occurs. And just as the legalism petty bickering remains the greatest example of the uselessness of the human animal, in a clear missed basic reasoning, they along with the not much brighter believer, if honest only as such due to their personal revelatory experience of such breaking, the third line nail. And now I know, because what occurred didn't allow me to dismiss idiots who are seemingly living life in the dumbest way possible, while oblivious to the extent of some deluded, thinking that they are doing shit, not the dumbest possible way, which seems to be damn near everyone. And while what has been afforded to me in revealed natures of reality, in my reasonable discernment has only cemented in my philosophy, and while my practice of near impossible adda traffic, enslaved to a supernatural free will nullifying power, so that in the tedium and tortuous aggravation each day, bringing a self-harm sort of compelling, which by sheer need to remain from a empathy display large scale and far-reaching to which might produce this apparent only offering to then gain. The mind-numbing, stupid bullshit wasting of my time to those most directly keeping it as such, which is through my original sole goal, in a line of steps that 2 years later, cost me the many instruments and efforts they cheated out of, as was presented by ability for two-way individualized interaction post, digital antenna crossover, done for the yet still widely unknown TV system that, as it is seen, by these face replace apps, can in real time alter any content for the game. Movie-like experience were directly spoken to, and with TV personalities, tell you important information, like how this Kimmel encouraged me and assured me all I needed to do was get myself to Hollywood, and then all would be better than I imagined. But as you may realize, if you accept that these folk are behind these mass school shootings, as they being the sole source, behind what brought those about, and then in contemplating what actual good one could imagine when these folk in control, absolute wrong people, seem to think doing something possibly in the future warrants the annihilation of one's soul and mind, rendering the apparent invalid incapability to do much at all, let alone get control of the simulation world. As owner, whether the California cunts ever cut their BS experience, and yet as if still too thick to understand that magic, once revealed, is just that. Maybe a slightly different approach, but just because some government formulated a book that had thought ahead and did that tactic PF telling on itself, only to then keep the BS going by warning about such being not the very Christ, which is the claim to be God, and ECT. Initially, but only after the first one, FTE Chow, so that by gaining the understanding of radio frequency capabilities, they might yet dismiss it and remain in expectation of another real God that we simply cannot grasp and act. Rendering through this BS about first the Antichrist using technology was going to come, but that being just a phony, scientific capable one is a fake, being an Antichrist in place of that real magical one who will be exactly how we expect, as some lamb hippie idiot or whatnot, instead of being against this idiot world of people so dumb that it would be like those Noah days, where not simply blind that they don't realize how stupid they are, but deluded into thinking they actually have the world in some highest state of being it ever was, despite the clear professional wrestling style politics that, as did the late 90 seconds, pushed that over their edge of believability. So now this other even better known as BS theater, ate still, somehow being clung to just a fewer population that somehow folks still dismiss this gray sports almanac book here that seemingly even the elites may need to abide to, although it may more than likely I did. The final got that down, that these Satanists needed to keep hope alive, so they can crush people down without, since no hope in a self-liberation solution. Just that it did back then, when the Roman government found themselves unable to threaten death anymore, as they, Superman, zionazi, suicide dig death cult had brought the dangerous idea that death away from enslavement shit existence might be a good thing, not being caused by anything, as these fools still don't understand bit, rather hear mental illness, and simply move on, awaiting the next mass violence, hoping, I suppose it'll affect them directly.